Welcome to Dolphin Dive Daily, your go-to spot for everything Miami Dolphins. If you bleed aqua and orange, hit that subscribe button and join the pod. The Miami Dolphins are facing a major crisis within their roster, one that has sent shockwaves through the NFL community. Tua Tagovailoa, the starting quarterback, recently dropped a bombshell that has left fans and analysts stunned. He announced that he will no longer play alongside star wide receiver Tyreek Hill. This revelation marks a significant shift in the dynamic of one of the league's most exciting offenses. For years, the combination of Tagovailoa and Hill had been a deadly duo capable of turning any game into a potential highlight reel. The two players seem to have formed an almost telepathic connection on the field, with Tagovailoa's pinpoint accuracy complementing Hill's lightning-fast speed. But now, it seems that this partnership is coming to an abrupt and unexpected end. In his statement, Tagovailoa explained that the decision to part ways with Hill was not one he took lightly. He described the difficult conversations he had with the coaching staff and management, emphasizing how the change was necessary for the team's future. Tagovailoa mentioned that there were growing tensions within the Dolphins' locker room, with certain players expressing concerns about the lack of team chemistry. Hill, known for his larger-than-life personality, had always been a dominant force in the locker room, but it seems his influence may have become a double-edged sword. While Hill's presence undeniably elevated the Dolphins' offense, the internal dynamics were starting to unravel. Tagovailoa's announcement signals that the team is now entering a new phase, one that may require more than just a star player to keep them competitive. Tyreek Hill's departure from the Dolphins' offense will undoubtedly have a ripple effect on the entire team. Hill has been a game changer since he arrived in Miami, transforming the Dolphins' aerial attack into one of the most explosive in the NFL. His speed and ability to stretch the field opened up opportunities for the rest of the offense, including fellow wide receivers and running backs. Tagovailoa, in particular, flourished with Hill as his primary target, often throwing deep bombs that left defenders in the dust. With Hill out of the picture, the Dolphins will need to find new ways to maintain their offensive firepower. Tagovailoa's decision to end the partnership is a bold one, but it may be a move made in the interest of long-term success. The question now is how the Dolphins will adapt without one of their most electrifying weapons. The timing of Tagovailoa's decision adds another layer of intrigue to the situation. Just a few weeks ago, the Dolphins were riding high, with their offense looking unstoppable. The combination of Tagovailoa and Hill had put Miami on the map as one of the most exciting teams to watch in the NFL. But as the season progressed, the Dolphins started to show signs of struggle, particularly in their offensive consistency. It became apparent that the loss of Hill's unique skill set might have been more significant than anyone realized. Tagovailoa's bold move to sever ties with Hill could be a reaction to these struggles. It's clear that the Dolphins' leadership believes this is a necessary step to course correct and get back to their winning ways. Of course, the news has not been well received by all parties. Tyreek Hill himself was visibly upset by Tagovailoa's decision, with sources close to the wide receiver suggesting that he felt blindsided by the announcement. Hill had always been a vocal advocate for the Dolphins' offense and believed that his connection with Tagovailoa was one of the best in the league. Reports indicate that Hill had hoped for a long-term partnership with Tagovailoa, but the quarterback's decision has now cast a shadow over their future together. While Hill has remained professional in his public statements, it's clear that the relationship between the two former teammates has been irreparably damaged. This could lead to further tension within the locker room, as Hill's departure may spark questions about team chemistry moving forward. For the Dolphins, the next steps will be crucial. With Hill no longer in the fold, they will need to find ways to fill the void left by his absence. The team has a talented group of wide receivers, but none have the same game-breaking ability that Hill brought to the table. Tagovailoa would need to lean on other weapons, like Jalen Waddle, and perhaps a few new additions to the roster. The Dolphins' offensive scheme will also have to adjust to accommodate the loss of Hill's speed and playmaking ability. Wow, this might be a difficult transition. It could also be an opportunity for the Dolphins to evolve into a more balanced team, focusing on different aspects of their offense. Still with us? Then show some love, hit that like button, and let us know in the comments What's your take on the Fins this week? The coaching staff is already hard at work trying to recalibrate the Dolphins' offensive system. Head coach Mike McDaniel has always been known for his creative and innovative offensive schemes, but this will be one of his biggest challenges yet. The loss of a player like Tyreek Hill demands a complete overhaul of how the Dolphins approach their offensive game plan. McDaniel will likely have to adjust his play calling to suit Tagovailoa's strengths without Hill's deep threat looming over every snap. This could mean more short to intermediate routes, with a heavier emphasis on the running game to keep defenses honest. The challenge will be in finding a way to replicate the explosive plays that Hill was known for. Even without him in the lineup, despite the immediate challenges, there are reasons for optimism in Miami. The Dolphins still have a solid foundation, with Tagovailoa at quarterback and a talented supporting cast. The defense, while not perfect, has shown flashes of brilliance, and there is hope that they can continue to improve as the season progresses. Miami's front office has also shown a willingness to make moves when necessary, so it wouldn't be surprising to see them add a veteran wide receiver or two to help fill the gap left by Hill's departure. This is a team that has proven it can compete at a high level, even without one of the league's top receivers. The key will be how well they adapt to the changing landscape of their offense. Looking ahead, the Dolphins' future is filled with uncertainty. The decision to move on from Tyreek Hill will undoubtedly shape the team's trajectory for years to come. Tagovailoa's leadership will be tested as he navigates this new chapter of his career without his trusted deep threat. The rest of the NFL will be watching closely to see how the Dolphins respond to this challenge. Can they find success without Hill? Will the locker room dynamics improve, or will the tensions continue to simmer? Only time will tell. But one thing is certain, the Dolphins are now entering a new era, one that will require resilience, adaptability, and a new identity. Whether they can emerge stronger or falter remains to be seen. In the grand scheme of things, this move could be a turning point for both Tagovailoa and the Dolphins organization. By choosing to separate himself from Hill, Tagovailoa may be asserting his role as the leader of the team, signaling that he's ready to take full control of the offense. It's a bold move, but one that could pay off if it leads to better team chemistry and a more cohesive unit on the field. For the Dolphins, the road ahead will be challenging, but it's also full of potential. This crisis could ultimately be the catalyst for a transformation that propels them to new heights in the NFL. That's a wrap for today's dive. If you're loving the content, share it with a fellow Dolphins fan, hit subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a splash. Fins up!